Hey, what's up? Today we're going to look at a play from the Packers' loss to the Bucks. This is the Packers' first drive, not mistaken. Maybe it's the second drive. They get down into the red zone. This is the drive that ends on failed fourth down conversion. They score a touchdown a little bit later. This is 2nd and 3. They've run 11 personnel. This is going to be, it's going to be basically a split zone inside zone run with an RPO tag, which we'll talk about. So this is going to be, on its face, fairly boring. It's 2nd and 3, 2-yard gain, got a little motion from Reed there. Inside zone, we got split flow with Kraft blocking the back end. Jones making a nice move to the inside. All right, what are we looking at? Why am I pulling this play up, you may ask? You probably are. Maybe you are. Got a little yo-yo motion from Jaden Reed. This is going to be an RPO look. I think it's going to be kind of a Hank look. So you got this kind of, I don't know, it's a hook, but really it's kind of, I'm just going to kind of build a wall and make myself big because you're really trying to attack the flat. But Hank would be hooked flat, and you're running it off this yo-yo motion here. So Reed's going to be the receiving option. Again, the run option is going to be split flow, inside zone, look to Jones. What we're going to do, we're going to watch these guys here and how they react. Because we're going to have, and you get this, you're forcing a check because you kind of get this yo-yo motion here. Once he gets here, you're going to have a check. You're going to see these guys kind of move. Then as he runs back out, there's a little confusion there. We'll talk about kind of the RPO aspect of that. So he's going to kind of run. You can see they shift over. See right now, it looks like you've got here and here. On the shift, actually we'll do blue here just to try to be consistent. It looks like you've got them straight across. When they shift, so when Reed crosses over here, we're going to shift here. This inside guy here now is going to become the man with Reed. So he's shifting. Well, this guy comes down on, I think it's Dobbs there. I can't remember. So we're going to have this shift in coverage because you're going to have this bump down. So this is going to be the only receiver on this side. You've got the back over here, obviously. But the only receiver on this side, so he's going to bump down. He's going to take that based on coverage. You're going to follow him across. Nice little bump there. So you can see Love looking at that. You've got so Love's looking over. He sees that kind of bump. You got running there. You got that. And we saw that bump in coverage. So maybe the assumption is, all right, as he comes out at this point, this has been converted to man coverage, is I think what Love is looking at, and also what this guy is looking at this point. So as it kind of comes back around, maybe he doesn't like the leverage. Something like that. Again, we'll talk about the RPO here in a second, I guess. But what's going to happen, as he reverses, you can see he's pointing, you got him, but he's pointing here. What the defense thinks is going to happen, this guy thinks, we're going back to the way things were, man. I now have Dobbs, and you are bumping back over to Reed. You are going to take the boundary receiver. You're the boundary guy. As he comes over here, you are back on what looks to be the outside man. So you're bumping back over. I am bumping back inside to Dobbs. Instead, they both end up taking Dobbs. And what ends up happening is we have what would be a walk-in touchdown provided Love completes the pass, which we saw him. I say that not facetiously, kind of facetiously, I guess, because he does miss Reed. I think it's Reed on the other side, only 2 plays later. This is pretty easy here. I mean, you've got this guy in the face here, so he's going to bend that around. We've seen Love do a whole bunch of fancy throws. So, maybe he completes this. Maybe this is the guy in his face, and we'll kind of interrogate that a little bit here as well. Maybe that's why he doesn't do it. But you've got, the way you're looking at this, you've got Kraft as the split zone guy taking that guy. So again, you've got, and we'll take it back to the beginning and we'll kind of look at all this through that lens. So right now, what we have got there, man, right? With offensively, split zone, inside zone, with a flat RPO tag, kind of a Hank RPO tag off of yo-yo motion. Now, what gets you then at this point, again, we'll draw this in another color now. As he kind of comes back, and he's going to come back a little further than that. I think he crosses Tom, if I'm not mistaken. As he comes back a little further than that, we bump. So he's going to take the inside right there. He's bumping outside. But then when he comes back across, this guy stays in the outside. This guy has locked down to Dobbs at this point, kind of locked man, whereas he thinks they're bumping back over. Jaden Reed is wide open. So that's one. I'm not exactly sure what the read is here. I've not seen this a lot from them. I've seen the Hank call from them quite a bit this year, but it is kind of more the traditional hook flat. Actually, I guess it would be more from the outside, maybe kind of hook flat, something like that. So we've seen that occasionally. I think that would be inside. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. We've seen this probably from the backside there, from the running back, and it usually hits the hook. So we've seen the Hank RPO tag on off of the run plays before. I've not seen it off this yo-yo motion before. So maybe there's some confusion there in terms of how to get run. And again, this guy on the edge here, maybe Love is looking at that guy there who he thinks is gonna, he's coming on the rush. I've got Kraft. It's running a little wider. I don't think I can get this around him. So we're gonna look at it for this from the backside. We'll see here again. Bump, get back over. You stay, you got Reed. Little confusion. He stays looking for Dobbs. Reed's right there. Love does not, and you can see him kind of looking out afterwards a little bit. I don't know if that's maybe I should have thrown that. I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to watch it from this angle here. Hands to the helmet. Got this can call here. And they kind of walk it down. They got to adjust because he comes down now on the gap here. That's 31 is going to be coming off the edge there, I think. So I'm not sure if that's what complicates things there a bit. You've got the motion from Reed. There we go. Going back over. We know how that looks. Love's looking over. This could be the man he's reading right here. Because we looked at that, and we can look at it again from the other angle with after we look at this here as well. You can see him here. You can say, well, he can get that out. That's right in the throwing lane. Now, you can drop sidearm. Very easy for me to say from my desk. Drop sidearm and chuck that over just around him. Again, we've seen Love kind of do that, kind of hook that arm, drop down to that sidearm, 3/4, whatever, and try to get it around him. But maybe he's seeing that there and going, okay, I've got the switch, man. I know I have Reed out there, but if I throw this sucker, it's probably getting batted down. Because when he's going to throw it, we know Kraft's coming across the block, right? Kraft's coming across the block. But that's a long way to go, and he kind of arcs wide. 31 kind of arcs wide. You can see him right there. So this is where Love would be pulling it, right there. Pull, throw. At this point, Kraft is here, right? He's not quite there. He's not going to make it to block him. This guy's in his face staring at Love. If Love pulls and throws, that's likely going to get batted down. And we'll look at it again because it's tough from this angle. It's weird because this is usually the angle we look at to see throwing lanes, but since we have the exterior there from the outside and we can't actually see Reed, I think we can get a better view of kind of where this is. So again, he's going to kind of arc it wide. Kraft is not here, and we'll stop it at the pull motion. This about right here. All right. I can't quite get it. There we go. Okay, we'll say right here. We'll stop it here because I can't quite get it. Right here is when he would pull and then throw. All right? He's pulling. He's making the decision. Do I want to pull it now? You've got him kind of arcing wide. He's looking right at Love there. If I pull this, so right now he's going to kind of come down here. If I pull this, he likely adjusts a bit at Love. Right here is where he'd be throwing it. Or rising up the throw, we'll say. Right now the ball's in his belly, but he would have pulled it. Right now he'd be rising up the throw. You've got him here. Again, you can see like a path to drop that arm angle and bend that over, little wanted style, bend that sucker over. But you've got this guy looking him right in the face. He's right at him. So this was one when I was watching live was very much that seemed like a missed opportunity on RPO read. Reed is wide open on the corner there due to, again, the switch up in what the yo-yo motion did to him, and that confused the defense and all that stuff. But he is wide open there. So this was, when I was watching this live, this was, man, this looks like a missed opportunity. Watching now, maybe it still is. So you can make a case he can get the ball there. Maybe you throw it up over him. But I would say my thought upon watching this through, a dozen or so odd times now is I still think maybe he could have pulled that, but I can see the thought process in terms of why he didn't. And it has nothing to do with Reed, has nothing to do with the coverage. It has to do with when they bumped down, because originally you've got him here, you're not really sure what's going on. When that end bumps down and he sits and you've got the blitzer there, that's the man he's reading. He's not reading the coverage. He's reading that man, and as he kind of comes at him, he says, if I throw this, the ball's getting knocked down. So it's hard to fault him there. I think for me, I guess maybe you can. I'm not your mother. You can do whatever you want. But for me, the decision was probably made on the blitzer, not based on the coverage. So missed opportunity for sure. But I think I understand it a little more after looking at it. So this has gone on way too long. I very much apologize. Thank you for sticking with me, and I will talk to you later.